Welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video we will learn the three types of cell references in Excel. I have a sample of data here that we're going to use so that we can learn these three types of cell references. So the three types of cell references include relative cell reference, we have absolute cell reference, and we have also mixed cell reference. So with this data that I'm having here, so if I want to calculate the total quantity here, I will use one of the types of cell reference, which is called relative cell reference. So in relative cell reference, this is just a type of cell reference whereby the reference is relative to the location of the cell. So let me compute the total quantity here so that we can see. So we have the data of the country of origin, the imports for the year 2023 for this enterprise, that is Paco Enterprises. And therefore, for us to get the total quantity, of course, we will have to add 800 here, 600, 500, 400 for us to get the total quantity. So for me to do that, I want to use or to do shortcut for me to get the sum there. So I will use Alt and then is equals. So when I use Alt is equals, you see it's highlighting the cells, but I don't need cells B4, and therefore I have to edit B4 here. Instead of having B4, I want C4. Yes, when you click enter, because you can see I have now the total, that is 800 plus 600 plus 500 plus 400, you get 2300. For me to get the total of the rest, that is from sleeping bag to dish rash, for me to do the to get the total there, I have to just double click here at the end, and then we will have the total of the rates. So the formula that we have used to generate the total here, it's called relative cell reference. When you observe from the formula bar, the formula that we are having is equal to sum C4 to F4. So if I click this other cell, you see it's changing. Now it is C5 F5. Again, if I click that, it is C6 F6. If I click that one, it is C7 F7. So the reference, of course, is changing, and that is where we are saying relative cell reference. This is where the reference is relative to the location of the cell, and therefore in this kind of a cell reference, we have seen that of course it changes when a formula is copied to another cell. So the formula here, you see it is changing, it keeps on changing. That is the cells that we are having, they keep on changing. Still, when we want to calculate the total cost, we will have to use relative cell referencing. So in this case, we will just multiply, that is B4 multiplied by this cell, which is G4. And we need to start with an equal sign to write any formula, and then we are picking this cell, that is the cell B4. We are multiplying by the cell G4, and then enter. You see, for us to generate that, we need to double click, and we have generated, of course, the total for the rest of the data that we need there. Again, we have this column here for duty paid. So the duty paid, in this case, we need to use the duty rate, because we have duty rate as 15 15%. Since we have duty rate as 15%, we need to calculate the duty paid by multiplying 15% by the total cost. So if we multiply 15% by the total cost here, we will get the duty paid. So let's do that. So if we multiply, that is 15%, so we need to start with an equal sign, and then this cell, the cell C12, we are multiplying that by this cell, which is H4, and then enter. So when we get this answer, let me do what I've been doing by double clicking here. Observe what is happening. So when you double click from the total that we got, or the percentage, the answer that we got after multiplying the percentage, that is the duty rate multiplied by the cell with the total cost. After getting the answer here, if we double click as usual, you can see we are getting zeros, dashes, and therefore the formula, that means there is something that we need to do with the formula. So if I click this cell, that is I5, if I click that cell, the formula here, it indicates that I'm multiplying the cell C13 multiplied by H5, cell H5. Of course, H5, it's correct, but C13, you see, I'm not now multiplying by 15%. That is the duty rate that is in the cell C12. Again, if I click here, let me click inside here so that we can see that I'm multiplying C14. I'm multiplying C14 by H6. So H6 is okay, but C14, we don't have any value, and that is why we are having dashes here or zeros here. So for us to be able to get the correct answers, what we are supposed to do is use absolute cell reference. And absolute cell reference, it is just a method of writing a formula in a spreadsheet document in such a way copying that formula to another cell does not change. And therefore, if we use an absolute cell reference, this will allow us either to lock the row, we can decide to lock the column, but also we can decide to lock both. So in this case, we want to lock this cell, the cell with the duty rate, that is 15%, the cell C12. We need to lock that cell. So when we lock that cell, that means each and every total here with these cells with the total will be multiplying each cell with this cell C12 instead of them moving the way we are seeing here. So for us to achieve that, for us to lock this cell C12, we lock a cell by applying a dollar sign. We have a dollar sign. So let me double click this cell. So this is the formula or the cells that I have multiplied. That is C12 multiplied by H4. I want to lock this cell C12. For me to lock that, I just need to click or to have the insertion pointer immediately after C12, that is the row 12, and then I will have to, one, we can decide to, if you're using most of our desktop, you use the key F4, but also you can decide to type. So if I want to type, I just need to type a dollar sign there, but also a dollar sign after C. That means I have locked. When I write a dollar sign before C and after C, I have locked the column because we have the column being identified by the letters, and then also I have locked the row, that is the row number 12, since rows are being identified by the numbers. So when I do that, I just need to click enter. So the answer is being displayed there. Then I do the necessary double clicking, and we see we have the answer for that. We have the answer for that. That is the duty paid by multiplying each and every total cost by 15%. So when you click each and every total in these cells, you can see the cell C12 is not changing. The cell C12 here, it's not changing. So C12 is constant. C12 is constant in all the totals that we are having in these cells. So that is how we use relative but also absolute cell references. As I have said, of course, we have mixed cell references whereby we can decide to log either the row or the column. So in this case, we have logged both. That is the column, but also the row. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, and share.